Hello guys, this is Corey from DeadSec Airsoft, and today I'm going to show you my personal MK18. Let's get into it.
Citizens of the digital age, welcome.
Had a lot going on in my own personal life, trying to get stuff together, trying to just work out a few things that I need to get my head around in the airsoft world, so apologies about no videos. I'm trying to speed up video lengths. I find that the actual format or the length of the uncut videos go to about 25 minutes because I keep rambling, but this is my personal MK18. You've seen this. I built this around coming up to this time last year, and in 2 months time I will be using this as my primary for the past year. So I'll just go from the back to the front of the externals, and then I'll move into the internals. For the back, this is a G&G CM18 Mod 1. I'll have a picture up of that now just here. That's what the base gun was. You can probably see not too much of a difference. I've kept the receiver the exact same. I've changed out a few different pieces, but this is pretty much stock until, apart from a few parts I would have just thrown in to upgrade it and shoot a bit better. So we'll just start from the back. At the back, this is just the standard G&G folding stock, not the folding stock, the crane stock I should say. Very simple, you just put it into the position you need. As I've said in many videos before, when you put the gun into the crease of your elbow, your finger should form a right angle on the trigger, and that should be your perfect position for your stock, so you can manipulate the gun very easily and not be kind of choked out with a gun that's all the way out here and you're kind of choking on it. So I like to keep it at my position just there. This isn't actually not the stock pistol grip that came with the gun. I actually got this off a boneyard gun I bought from some guy in Tipperary. It's actually a black one. I gave it I've actually given this whole gun more of kind of a beat down kind of spray. I'll actually turn around, it's much better on this side. If you want to see a video on this, I will show you at some stage. As I said, if you want to see a video, drop it down in the comments and just let me know. The magazine, these are the original standard Magpul P-Mags. As you can see, P-Mag is still on it. These aren't the E-Mags, the original Magpul. Actually, keep showing this. Magpul P-Mag. These are the original ones. I have to get a new spring for these mags, as these are fairly old mags. I bought them off one of my friends down in Cork. Mags are very tired in them as they are really old, so when I try to put BBs into them, I can get fairly good like spring retention when there's loads of BBs in it, but the less BBs and the more times I shoot, the more BBs that come out on the mag, the less consistent the mag actually becomes, and I get a lot of dry firing where it's like shot, not coming out, not coming out, not coming out, shot, not coming out. So that's not great. So I'll just move on and I explain other parts of the gun. I actually have the mag well taped up so I can get all different kind of mags in. The G&G magwells, even today, this gun I think it came out in 2012, even up until their new guns that have came out very recently, I still believe they have not fixed the magwells. The magwells still cause very big problems, as if I was to put, say, just a normal mag with no tape in, the mag rattles around the magwell, so the actual catch for the magazine and the actual hole where the magazine goes into the feeder or the hop-up, it doesn't stay in, so you'll get very bad dry firing. For the mag release, I put on my own custom ambidextrous one. You probably have seen from the G&G Predator, that also has an ambidextrous mag release and fire selector. I find that I can get the fire selector fairly easy if I just push my finger around. That doesn't really bother me, but the actual mag release was a very big problem for me, because if I was trying to take a mag out and I have my hand here, I would normally have to take my hand off the gun, lose complete control, take my finger here where the mag release is on any normal gun, try take it out and pull. So I have to let go, and it's very hard to get out. But once I have the one on this side, the ambidextrous one, I can hold and pull. It makes changing the mag very easy for me and very consistent, and it saves me a lot of time when someone's running up on me and I just need to get the mag out. Now, it's not doing myself any justice because as I said, these mags fit into the receiver much better, but if I was to take off a bit of the tape, they go in much easier. But the other mags I have been using for the time being, they don't really go in very well, so I have to put more tape in. So that's why it's very hard to get these mags, the P mags, in and out. Moving up, I have the Mad Bull Mark 18. I think it's a 10.5 inch rail. This is the replica Daniel Defense rail in bronze earth. As you can see here, I actually got some sandpaper. I sprayed it all over with tan, and then I got white spirit and a toothbrush. That's pretty much how I've done the whole spray in this gun. But got a bit of white spirit, took off all the paint, and then left kind of little dirt patches, as you can see, all around. And then I got a piece of sandpaper and just ran it up all along the rail. So that allows it to look really, really worn. As you can probably see, where is the best place? If you look in there, if I can show it on camera, you can see all along this bit here, all the way up where the holes are. The steel is actually exposed. It's not bronze, it's actually like silver, like actual stainless steel the whole way up. So it really looks like it's really worn, and it actually makes it look really, really real. So it's not a replica, it actually looks real. Moving up at the end, I actually can't remember the name of this suppressor. It's just a quick release suppressor with the 3-pronged thing at the front. This suppressor actually has some foam in it. I know in the States you can't get foamed suppressors as they're illegal, but with this one, if I was to shoot here, very kind of cracky sound. There's a lot of a crack near the end. If I was to put the suppressor on, it doesn't silence the gun, but it definitely, you know, takes that crack and that really loud noise near the back, and I mean at the front, it really takes it out and really dulls down the sound. For the best way I can describe it is, if I was to be shooting this in a building towards someone and I was like going around shooting, when that suppressor is on, the whole peripheral sound of the gun completely dead. So with a suppressor, it doesn't actually silence the gun, but it does help that when I shoot the gun, if I was to have this off, you can actually, if I was shooting that behind someone, they can hear, oh, that's definitely behind me. Once the suppressor goes on, it just becomes a sound. There's no distance. You can't say, oh, that shot's coming from behind me, or that's around from me. That is just one sound. You don't know if it's 10 foot away from you or 10,000 meters away from me. So that's pretty good. I really like that about it. I have a Surefire scout light on the side. Really like this one. I've been using this ever since I got the gun. I actually bought this scout light and this I actually can't remember the CQB. It's pretty much an EOTech, the small version. Can't remember the name. I think it's 552 or something like that. Can't really remember. As I said, I bought this and the scout light off Matt Musketeer. He actually isn't playing airsoft much anymore, if you're unaware. He is a fairly big airsoft YouTuber in England. I went onto his Facebook page. He had up, oh, I'm selling this sight and this torch. I just said, oh, I'll buy it off you, and he sold them to me, and he sent them over, and that was pretty good. I have my pressure switch taped onto the side of my grip. This is just a standard RVG grip by Magpul, I think, is it? Yeah, MOE grip. Really like this one. I sometimes more use it as a hand stopper, and then just kind of keep my hand here. I normally keep my finger on an overbore here. That's what you see in all the videos. I just kind of like hold like this. I find holding like that, it's a bit kind of awkward because my arm sometimes sticks out and that gets a shot, but at least when I have it here, I know that the only way I can keep my finger overboard is by keeping my elbow down, so it keeps my elbow tucked into me as far as I can. On top, I just have standard Magpul flip up sights. Pretty good, really like these. They work really well for when my sight drops down. I actually had my sight fail on me just a few weeks ago in Spec Ops. The battery just somehow died after me using it since July. I never thought the battery would have died. That went out. I was literally in the middle of a firefight. I'm just shooting. The dot goes out. I just went like that. Boom. Boom. I sometimes actually, I should say, when I have these down, I'll actually kick up the two ones on my opposite side. So if I need to get them up, I can just flick them. Preferably I like to just keep the front one up. I find that's a bit easier to see. So yeah, that's pretty good. I really like them. They're fairly accurate. I like the way they're open and they're not like a little closed circle, as they don't actually get in the way at all, so they're pretty good. As you probably have seen, all along the rail I just have cut up pieces of rail. As you probably have seen, going all the way up the rail, I have small little rail covers. They really don't do anything. I just kind of think they're cool if you have them all the way along. It really kind of breaks up the brown kind of colour all the way up the rail. Coming up to the front, I just have a standard PEC 15. This is the IR one. You probably seen a little while ago. I actually had a tan one up here. This is, if you cannot see, that is actually black with a bit of tan sprayed over. I bought, actually, it was the tan one I had on it was the one I bought in the Shooter CB Gear unboxing. That one I had never used it at all. It was just on there. I had the battery in and never got to use it. For the first time I used my night vision at Operation Blackveil, just going a month and a bit ago. And when I was going to try zeroing the IR laser, I realised that on the tan one I bought in the Shooter CB Gear, it wasn't ever going to align with my gun. So I had to get the old trusty one I had used before. I'd actually never properly used this one on my G&G Predator, but I actually had it zeroed because I had a few problems with trying to buy one of these before, so I had to make sure it was zeroed, so that's why I had it zeroed. So that works pretty good. It has, I think I don't have actually the batteries in, it just goes kind of flashlight, and then if you tap it twice it stays on, light on a laser, and then an IR laser, which is pretty good. Moving back, this is just this, as I said, the smaller EOTech, can't think the name of it. You just put the two buttons in and you can get it to red, and then if you press that one, oh, it turns green. Pretty good. I actually really like this one. This is probably by far the brightest EOTech I've ever bought, ever. I've had other ones, like I had the really long black one I used to have on my Predator. That light was really dim. Even though I changed the batteries out, it was fairly dim and just didn't work for me. I think that's all I can really say about the externals. I just have a rail cover, not rail cover, a sling mount on my rail, so I can just sling it onto me. That's all I can really say. Usually I'll keep my tourniquet here for bigger milstons, but I actually lost my tourniquet at Blurkin, which was pretty sad. I think we can move on to the internals now, so yeah, let's take the mag out. The internals aren't crazy. I haven't really done really extensive work on this gun. So as I said, this G&G gun is fairly kind of old, so they would have never had the G&G MOSFET or the electronic trigger unit in it, so I had to go in and put my own in. So you've probably seen from, actually have this screwed in because it broke, so I can't actually show you. You've probably seen from the G&G Predator that there is a electronic trigger unit which gives you that really good trigger response. So I obviously got Chris from Main Irish Airsoft just to rig that the whole way up, because if I try to do it I'd probably fry it or just blow it up. I know Chris is fairly good with his guns, he know how to put this in perfectly. Just gave it to him and I said to him, here, can you just sort this gun out for me? And he said, yeah, totally. I actually, before I'd done this gun up, it actually was half broken. I gave it to him and I said to him, look, the gun is broken, can you, while you have the gun open, because he obviously had to open up the gearbox as well just to try get all the, I had to actually open up the receiver and take the whole gun apart to get the electronic trigger unit actually onto the gearbox. So while he had it open, I told him, here, there's something gone wrong with the gearbox, can you just fix it up? What I got back was something I'd never seen in my entire life. This gun, I think, he said to me, it has the range of being able to shoot 113 meters. I physically cannot shoot that far. I won't, because that's just like what it said on the actual chrono. But I have noticed I'm able to get up to about 68 meters on this gun. That's probably, I'd say, look up how long a football pitch is. I can just drop off just the full length of a soccer pitch, if anyone's in America. A soccer pitch, that full length of a pitch, that's probably how far this can, give or say, get an effective range. This has a fairly good range. This is shooting just on the limit. This will shoot 322 on a .20 BB. If I was to put in my .25s, I get to about 290, around that. I'm not too sure. It's very hard to remember. So I actually got a spring change. So that's how I've gotten the range and the better FPS. The spring, I don't think it was any longer. I think it was just a better coiled one, so there's more coils for the same length. My one will say this length would say 20 coils. This one is about the same length with about 36. I think that's what it was. That's just me making up numbers. That's kind of just giving you an example. The cylinder head and the piston were kind of worn. I think this cylinder had a crack going along the holes on it, so the air pressure was getting out the side. I used to shoot this gun and only get the air pressure to about there, and I'd lose it. So if you are wondering why you're losing your FPS, or you think there's something wrong with your gun, you should be able to feel the air pressure of your gun coming way out there. You should be able to feel a little gust of air. If you're up against your suppressor or the end of your gun and you're only getting like a little tiny bit of like a breath coming out. There's something wrong with your cylinder, and the pressure of the actual air being expelled out is coming out of the side, and that's why I even noticed when I used to put my hand down here, there was a tiny bit of air in there, so that can give a lot of problems to your gun. Cylinder head, a different cylinder, a lot of different kind of just upgrades. Like I've just changed a majority of the parts for kind of better steel parts, just different parts like that, just to make them a bit more high quality than the actual stock just pieces they throw into all the different G&G guns. Different things I am actually going to do with this gun in time to come. I'm planning on getting all the gears shimmed right down, so if you can hear here, there's kind of like a shh, like something at the end when I shoot. It doesn't sound clean. I want that gun the second I shoot it, it's cycled, like cycle. I just want it to just be crisp, like just coming out, it's just shooting. That was fairly weird for me to try and click, it wasn't working. I just want it just to be really concise, and there's not a lot of, there's kind of a bit too much power being put in at the end, where if I was to shim down the gears, that power wouldn't be going through. It saved my battery a good bit, and it should save all the internals from just being slammed against each other where the power is not needed. What else was I planning to do? I plan to get a different receiver, trying to find one that fits the actual tube for the stock. I actually bought one from Airsoft Era, had the whole gearbox put in and it didn't fit, so that was really hard for me, trying to take the whole gun apart and then it not to work. So if I got a different receiver that's not a G&G one, it fairly helped with the mags going in. I could put any mags in without having to take them up. That's all I can really say. As I said, I haven't really done anything else with the hop-up. Probably the hop-up and different parts like that. Just different hop-up knobs when they've broke or they've had a little rip in them. The barrel length has pretty much stayed the same. I kind of want to get a longer outer barrel, so the actual piece here comes just out a little bit further, and then the suppressor doesn't look like it's literally taped here. I don't like the way it's so close to the actual rail. They're just small little things I just find really weird, and I don't really like. They're not very big problems. If you want to see a video on how I sprayed this gun, it's pretty much the same kind of concept as the snakeskin. I done a snakeskin kind of cover on the stock, and then just kind of like a beat down kind of colouring with tan and brown, and then I just kind of got white spray and brushed it off. If you actually want to see a full-on video on this, please drop it down in the comments and let me know. But this has been my personal MK18, guys. Sorry about the videos again, there hasn't been many. I haven't been out playing much and trying to do these videos. When you do so many of them, you start to run out of ideas, and I just don't want to start getting into real kind of sellout videos where I'm literally trying to do it for views, because I don't like doing that. And I've also found that if I don't do a video for say a week or so, I somehow get more views. Don't know how that works, but it just does. Everyone seems to watch the videos when I haven't done a video in a while, so I might as well. But this has been my MK18, guys, and I'll talk to you next time.
DedSec will give you the truth. Do what you will.